Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the entertainment headquarters. And it's once a time review time, and we're finally here. We're finally in the summer of 2024. You know, big Hollywood films have been hit or miss. Some that they expected to do amazing have underperformed. Some that they didn't think would do quite well or would do just okay have broke expectations and have done better than they were expected to do. But all eyes have been on the 25th of July. Why has all eyes been on the 25th of July? Because it was the launch of a movie that apparently is going to change the direction and is going to bring balance or bring a fresh start to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we know what this movie is. It's got a lot of pressure on it. It is, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I love Hugh Jackman. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he puts his all into every role he's done. And of course, his most defined role will always be Wolverine. We thought he had retired as the character way back when with Logan. But his good buddy, Ryan Reynolds, has managed to persuade him to come out of retirement to give the fans the dream team up they've always wanted. And what can we say? Hugh Jackman came out of retirement, teamed up with Ryan Reynolds, and what I can tell you, it's a great result. It's a great result, and it's what the fans have been clamoring for. They've been clamoring for this ever since 20th Century Fox had the X-Men franchise and the Deadpool franchise and all the franchises that they owned, but it just never materialized. And then Disney, as we know, have bought 20th Century Fox, and there was a lot of doom and gloom how Disney or Marvel were going to handle these characters that, they're not very Mickey Mouse-ish. Fox kind of give them more of an adult feel, more middle of the road, PG middle towards R-rated rather than the full-on PG route that Disney does with most of them properties. But I'm happy to say Disney and Marvel have listened to the fans. The MCU have been on a downward spiral, a slow downward spiral. It doesn't grab me interest when it first started, The first 10 years up to Endgame, I've always said they should have just ended it there, waited a few years and rebooted it. But, hey-ho, they decided to continue it and just basically throw it down our throat with television shows, film after film, television show after television, and it just was mediocre, not very creative things that grabbed it with. And it's, like I say, been on a slow decline. But this film has given it a fresh, lick of paint, the MCU, that it desperately needed. It's now, it has definitely refreshed it. Do I think it saved the MCU? Only time will tell. But let's crack on and talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine is a 2024 American superhero film based on Marvel Comics, featuring the characters Deadpool and Wolverine, produced by Marvel Studios, Maximum Effort, and 21 Laps Entertainment, and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the 34th film in the MCU and the sequel to Deadpool and Deadpool 2. The film is directed by Shawn Levy from a screenplay he wrote with Ryan Reynolds, Reese, Paul Wernick, and Zeb Wells. Reynolds and Hugh Jackman star as Deadpool and Wolverine representatively, alongside Emma Corrin, Marina Baccarin, Rob Delaney, Leslie Uggams, Aaron Stanford, and Matthew Macfadyen in supporting roles. In the film, the Variant Authority, the TVA, pulls Deadpool from his quiet life, sets him on a mission to save his universe, partnering with a reclusant Wolverine from another universe in the process. So a lot to take in there. And if you read the description below, this will have spoilers. It's hard to do a review of this without having spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers and you didn't read the description below, now's the time to check out. See the movie, come back, press play, and crack on if you want to watch the rest of this review. So the interesting thing about this, straight away I noticed, is the characters and the setting of this film. So, as you know, like I mentioned, Hugh Jackman played Wolverine in Logan way back. And the interesting thing to take away from this is that Deadpool in this film, in this universe, is set in the same world and universe as the Logan that was killed in Logan way back when. And that plays a vital part in this plot. Very vital part in this plot. So basically, I'll just quickly highlight you. It starts off where Wade Wilson's now trying to carve himself a normal life. He's trying to move away from being the mercenary, the superhero that he was. He wants to carve himself a new life of normality, become a a good citizen, get a job. He works at a car dealership with the character Peter, who we know from the previous Deadpool films, and he's basically wants to find meaning and purpose in his life without being Deadpool. At the same time as all that's going on, you have the TVA. They basically the TVA. They basically drag him from his mundane life, which he's now trying desperately to find purpose in. He's wanted to be an Avenger. He talks about that, when he breaks the fourth wall. He just wants to be a part of a family and a team. So the TVA drag him from his universe and bring him to what he believes is the TVA headquarters. It's then revealed to him by Mr. Paradox. Mr. Paradox is the character played by Matthew Macfadyen. And you know what? He's a very sleazy, suave kind of character. He's, one of the antagonists in this. He reminds me how he comes across like Richard E. Grant, who is another fantastic actor. He has that kind of style of chemistry and in his performance. And so he brings him to the TVA, and he basically says to him, I can help you become a Avenger. I can help you to reach your goal of being a part of a team, find purpose in your life by taking you from your timeline, your universe, and putting you in the sacred timeline, which is the main timeline that spreads across, and you've got all the other timelines, on either side of it. But there's a catch. The catch is you go there and you forget about your universe because it's slowly dying. It's going to take thousands of years to die, but the reason it's dying is because the Logan of that universe is no longer alive. And each universe has an anchor being. The anchor being is what forges and helps that universe to survive or fills the balance within that universe. And because the anchor being, aka Wolverine, has died, their universe is now slowly dying. So Mr. Paradox character, his whole idea is, I'm going to put this universe out of its misery and not let it die slowly, painfully. I'm going to just wipe it out by using a device called a Ripper. It's called basically a universe Ripper, which when it's fully charged, it will wipe out that universe. And obviously, once Wade Wilson, he keeps it with him, a photo of all of, his family and friends, and he no longer wants this to happen. He cannot allow this to happen. So his idea is to go and find another Wolverine from another universe and bring it to his universe to try and save the timeline. And that's where the adventure begins. And you see montages of different versions of Wolverine from the comics and from, all of the world of Marvel. You have like Wild Man Logan, you have Old Man Logan, you have like a James Bond Logan with an eye patch. You even have a cameo of what another version of Wolverine would look like, because personally, Hugh Jackman will always be my Logan. But people know he's getting older. They know they need somebody to fill the boots of Logan one day. And there's been talks of many different actors taking on the role. And so we do get a cameo from Mr. Henry Cavill in one of the versions of Logan, and he looks fantastic. But he's not my Logan. So eventually, Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, comes across a Wolverine that is basically a bum. He's a drunken, alcoholic bum. He has no purpose. He doesn't care. He couldn't give a shit. And so Wade Wilson brings him back to the time variant, and he says, this Wolverine is the one that's going to help me save my universe. But it's kind of revealed that the reason he is an alcoholic and is lost and is not the Wolverine that we know and love is because of his issues, because of his temper, because of his struggles, he was not there. And unfortunately, all of the X-Men died at the hands of humans. And he went on a rampage and destroyed all of the humans that killed the X-Men, as well as basically he killed good humans out of rage. And he's basically full of guilt, full of anger, and he's struggling to live with himself. And so this is the Wolverine that basically Wade Wilson has now got in his hands. From that point on, they are sent to a place called the Void, which is basically like, being in purgatory. It is a place between the universes. It's where basically the garbage heap, where anything that doesn't belong or has been rejected or has been taken away ends up in this place, and it's full of different characters from the world of 20th Century Fox. All of the characters that you can imagine, that when they had the rights to Marvel characters, they introduce you to different ones throughout the plot, throughout this world within the void. And there's a different factions. Now, the character of Emma Corrin, who is very important in this story, she plays the character of Charles Xavier's sister within this plot, who is the second antagonist. She plays the character of Cassandra Nova, who is Charles Xavier's basically psychotic twin sister, and she controls the void. Take a drink of my Deadpool cup. She basically is in control of the void. And there's a character from the first season of Loki who appears in this, in the 5th episode of the first series, that appears in this, which is the giant cloud entity with the, looks like it's got like a dog face on, that makes an appearance in this. So she's in control of the void, and she's psychotic. She controls it with an iron fist, and nobody can defeat her because of the fact that there's nothing to stop her from using her abilities. And luckily, you know, when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, he knows Wolverine has given up. He does not give a shit. He doesn't care about anybody. He's lost everything, so why should he care? So Deadpool, Wade Wilson, manages to persuade him to team up, because if he teams up, he might be able to find a way to save his universe and be able to reverse the timeline and to save the X-Men before they were killed. And this is something he kind of tricks Wolverine into thinking to help him team up. From on there, you go on a massive adventure that basically takes you around the world and back. You know, you see all these different characters from the Marvel universe. You see all different variants of Deadpool near the end of the film. You then see, you know, different iconic, you know, Fox-based Marvel characters. Like you do see Jennifer Garner in this as Elektra. Obviously, there's been in, you know, development hell for many, many years, a Gambit movie starring Channing Tatum that was meant to be in the works, that had false start. We finally get to see Channing Tatum as Gambit, and I was very impressed by not his performance, but how he presented the character. Like his person, like his mannerisms, you know, the voice he put on, the outfit that he had on, straight from the comic book. But do I think Channing Tatum is still a good fit for Gambit? Yes and no. The biggest surprise for me in this, the biggest surprise in this for me, was the return of Wesley Snipes as Blade. Now, just like I will always think of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Michael Keaton is Batman. There's only one man that will ever be Blade to me, and there's only ever been one actor to play Blade, and that is, of course, Wesley Snipes. And he's 61 years old, but he still looked good. He looked older, of course, but he still had that presence about him, and he still delivered in this movie. And it was nice to see Marvel give respect to Wesley Snipes in the character of Blade and listening to the fans. Jennifer Gardner was a lovely surprise as Elektra. There's another cameo with Chris Evans as not Captain America, but as the Human Torch from the, you know, the Fox-based Fantastic Four films. There were other well-known or villains and characters from the Fox-based movies that you'd recognise: Toad, Sabretooth. Sabretooth was played by Tyler Mane, who was the actor that played him in the first X-Men movie. Toad, Lady Deathstrike, a few others that you would recognise because of the look and the costuming, but they're not played by the same actors as they were in the original films that they were in. But it was nice still to see them, and it was really nice for Marvel and Disney to show respect, to show kind of respect of what came before it, that basically without Fox, the success of Spider-Man there, the X-Men there would not be no MCU. Fox really got it off the ground. You know, Sony have still got Spider-Man. At the minute, their properties are hit or miss when it comes to Venom. Craven hasn't come out yet. Madam Web was a total flop. Morbius was not really that great. So who knows what will happen with Sony with the Spider-Man property, but Fox with X-Men really, really helped turn the tide to show you, guess what? Superhero films can be cool. They can be fun. That's what Fox did. That's what Sony did. And Marvel captured that and created the MCU, which is fantastic. I'll not go much more into the plot because even though I've done a few spoilers, I don't really want to completely ruin it. But all I can say when it comes to the performances of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they do not miss a beat. They do not. You know, they're both characters lost in their own way. You've got Wade Wilson, Deadpool, who's trying to find purpose, that's trying to find somewhere to fit in. You're trying to, there's something missing. He wants to find meaning in his life. Then you have the kind of, you have a redemption arc with Wolverine, with Logan, who lost everything due to his personal issues, and he lost things, and he's full of guilt, he's full of anger, he's full of pain, and both of their stories kind of crosswire across from each other. And then you have the character of Mr. Paradox and Cassandra Nova, the two antagonists who basically, because of them, got these two characters together, and together Wolverine and Deadpool kind of, in the end, learn to, one, forgive himself. With Wolverine, he learns to forgive himself. He learns to move on from the events that's transpired that helped make him who he is. In Deadpool, Wade Wilson learns, that he does mean something. He does have meaning. He does belong where he is. And that was great. And the epic journey you go on throughout this, like I say, from the universe where Wade Wilson is, to the void, to back to the universe where Wade Wilson is from, and how the plot has a few twists and turns and other things that go on that really, really made this and just an epic fun film. It really did. It really did. The cinematography in this, 10 out of 10, just fantastic. Marvel really worked on this and put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of care into making sure this was the film that the fans wanted. And they delivered 10 out of 10 when it came with the cinematography. The action in this is what we have been missing from the MCU. They went a little dark. It didn't, it did not sacrifice anything. They didn't play safe. They literally went balls to the wall with the action, with the gore, with the F-bombs. This is what is being missing from the MCU, and they've delivered. I do know, and I do feel that in the television show Echo, which was trying to be a little darker than the other MCU shows, I seen a glimmer of hope of where we could go with the MCU if they allowed it to take it off the leash and go wild. And I'm happy to say that Deadpool versus Wolverine was let off the leash. And they were swearing, there were F-bombs. It was just a great, great fun experience to watch it all come together. There was the writer strike in the middle of production, which I honestly believe give this an opportunity to have more time to develop it, to really, make this the best it could possibly be. Hugh Jackman, fantastic. Ryan Reynolds does what he does best. The story itself was a mixture of serious and comedic. It was funny at times where Deadpool broke the fourth wall, and when it got serious and meaningful, you felt it. But the thing with Ryan Reynolds and the thing with Deadpool, when it came to Deadpool 1 and 2, breaking the fourth wall, being comedic, it fit perfectly into those films in that world. When you had the Marvel Cinematic Universe 1 to 10, 1 to Endgame, Iron Man to Endgame, it slowly built up a world, and you saw the threat getting bigger and bigger. You saw the weight of it. You saw the threat, like I say, they had something to fight for. You had, there was risk there. There was something, a purpose there. If you take away that, the weight, the purpose, the stakes away, then what you're fighting for? What's the point? And that's what made them films great. And this film feels like that in a certain way, that there's some stakes there to fight for. We're gonna lose Deadpool. They're gonna lose his universe. We're gonna potentially lose Logan Wolverine again. But as much as I love the Deadpool films, and this is me only negative, when Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds broke the fourth wall and did the stupid jokes and looking at the camera, there were times I felt it was unnecessary. There were times I felt it was taken away from the weight, the risks, and the overall plot of the movie. Because this is a mixed bag film. It's a mixture of everything that makes Marvel good, and they took things from the Deadpool films and they put it in this, and they mashed it together. In some areas of this film, I found it worked, and there's some other areas in the film when it came to the wisecracking and the breaking the fourth wall and looking at the camera, that for me it was off-putting and it took away where we were headed in the story. And that for me is me only negative. I wish once it got deeper into the story, deeper into the plot, yes, still have your comedy moments, still have your laughs, but just keep it between the characters that's on screen, not the breaking the fourth wall too many times near the end of this film. Of course, that is what Deadpool's known for. That is what Ryan Reynolds had built this brand around. But I think with this being the film that's meant to change the face of the MCU, that's going to reset everything or head into this new direction, which with them breaking the fourth wall, they've mentioned how shit the MCU's become. They mention how 20th Century Fox has been took over by Disney. They've mentioned the errors that Disney's made. They put it all in this, and it's funny. It works. It's nice that they can laugh at themselves and laugh at the mistakes they've made, and they're all listening to the audience. So it seems with this film. But have they really learned from the mistakes, or has everything just been put into this film? They need to take what they've learned from this film, take everything that worked from the previous Marvel films, and keep on this trajectory. Because if they can do that, the MCU will be back on top form. And like I say, there are some fights in this between Wolverine and Deadpool. They have two epic battles. They were the best part of this film for me. Just seeing them kick the shit out of each other. The final fight where Wolverine finally embraces who he truly is and forgives himself. And it's him and Deadpool versus the army of, Deadpool variants. Fantastic. You will get your money's worth when it comes to the action within this film, and you need to see it on the biggest screen possible. I've mentioned one negative, and that is for me the only negative that I had about this film. I loved the villains. I loved the antagonist. Mr. Paradox was fantastic. He was as annoying as fuck. You wanted to see him die, or you wanted him to get his comeuppance, and that was the point of the character. He was meant to make you feel that way. And the character of Cassandra Nova, played amazingly by Emma Corrin. She, for me, delivered in what she was meant to be. She was, a great villain for this film. Her story arc in this fit perfectly. You've got two people that are trying to redeem themselves or find purpose. One's trying to forgive himself, one's trying to feel like he belongs. And then you have this character that literally just wants to destroy everything in her path. It was a great, way of interacting with these three different characters, two good, one bad. Them are wanting to change things for the better, and she just wants to destroy everything for the sake of destroying everything. And it will work beautifully. The cameos, like I say, Blade blew me away, and there's one fourth wall epic. What I think epic moment is when Wade Wilson, aka Ryan Reynolds, talks about Blade. And he turns and he goes, there will only ever be one Blade. And he looks at the camera. And then he looks back and it's silent. And you look at this shot of Wesley Snipes' Blade. And as you know, there is meant to be a Blade reboot film, the MCU version of Blade. And it's we know who's going to be starring that, but it's had that many rewrites, that many directors, that many different things come out about. It's like in development hell. In the fact that they had that quick little moment with the character of Blade tells me this isn't the last of Wesley Snipes as Blade in the MCU. Whether it's just more cameos in other Marvel films, whether because of all the rewrites and different things, the potentially could be considering just allowing Wesley Snipes to come back as Blade. Or I would quite like a Wesley Snipes R-rated Blade television miniseries, 6 to 10 episodes long. It would work wonders. But he was my favourite reveal of the MCU in Deadpool vs. Wolverine. So once again, I will recap. Amazing cinematography, amazing stunt work, amazing action sequences, amazing performances. Each character delivered in what they were set out to do. The villains, for me, delivered, both of them. Wolverine, there's this Ryan Reynolds has said you'll be doing Wolverine till you're in your 90s. I would love to think that's true. But who knows what the future holds. I would like to think if this is the final performance of Wolverine by Hugh Jackman, he's went out with a bang twice. Logan, I never thought I could get better than that. And as much as he's amazing in this, and they give him another amazing arc and story, I still think Logan is a little bit better than this story for Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, because I just love the film Logan. It's just an amazing movie, great dark but beautiful movie at times. And this really was just another chapter in the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, world. And it was another amazing performance. He still got it. He still delivers. There's only one Logan for me. Ryan Reynolds does what he does best, a mixture of action, comedy, serious, does it all. The rest of the cast, even, the ones that play, the regulars from the past two Deadpool films, they deliver as well in their own way. And we've got to talk about Dogpool and Nicepool. They were two characters I didn't expect in this. In Nicepool at the beginning, I thought, really, do I have to go there? But by the end, there's a reason he's in this. And when you see what happens to him at the end, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. So my rating for this, once again, great cinematography, great action, great story, great performances by everyone involved. Well done to Marvel, well done to Disney, well done to Shawn Levy and Ryan Reynolds, because you're getting a 10 out of 10. Despite me one negative of, I think they broke the fourth wall too much and it took away from the story and the plot slightly as it got heavier. I still believe it's a 10 out of 10 film. And if this, is the beginning of a new era for Marvel, the MCU, I hope it sticks. I hope it's not just a one-off. And, that they can continue the success going forward like they did the first 10 years. But I'm hearing mixed thoughts. And, I've heard, stories that, the new Captain America, which has had secret screenings, test screenings, it hasn't fared too well. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But this, 10 out of 10, Deadpool and Wolverine, loved it. Definitely want to maybe go see it again before it leaves theatres, because you have to see this on the biggest screen possible. But coming up on the channel, I do have, a couple of trailer reactions coming soon. Tomorrow will be doing the first episode of Episodic Adventures with my guest DJ Anubis of the Metal Tavern Radio. And we will be reviewing the new Roman period Gladiator series, or what's it called? Those Who Must Die, or something like that. My mind's blown. I'm not tired with running around going to the theatres and other stuff. But that's little bits that are coming on the channel soon. But I hope you do get to see Deadpool and you enjoy it as much as I did. I want to know what you thought. I do. Deeply do want to know your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. I want to know your thoughts of the state of the MCU and where you think we're going to go next. But until then, keep on enjoying your movies, keep on enjoying your television, keep on enjoying all things entertainment. And I'll catch you all at the next one.